Hey, how is everyone doing today? So, today's video we're going to talk about an Easy Flash setup. Now, I have the Easy Flash Omega. I don't have the Definitive Edition, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be very similar. So just stay tuned for that. Now, just a big shout out to everyone who's been subscribing. Thank you very much. We passed 500 subscribers. That is amazing. I can't believe we actually made that much. So thank you all very much. And if you've just been watching, please, if you like my videos, just leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Turn the notifications on. Do all that good YouTube stuff. That way you can keep seeing my content. And if you guys have any advice, please just leave a comment below. And right, let's just get into the video now. All right, so I'm just going to be doing a fresh installation. That way we can just test this out, see how it goes. It's going to be similar to my my Everdrive installation. Now, what I also want to do, I'll probably do tomorrow, is just compare them. So, but for today, we're just going to do the setup, test out some ROMs, test out some emulators, all that good stuff, and see how it compares. So, first, I'm on the easyflash.cn website. I heard, yep, there it is. There's a new update. So, let's just go through it right now. Let's go to the changelog. They fixed some graphic glitch. Let's see, kernel 1.03. Oh, this is this is firmware 5. So this is the last one. So it's very simple. They fixed some glitches. They didn't get into very much descriptions. Let me see. Okay, so this is for the Definitive Edition, and it can tell you which mode you have too. There's no difference. Okay, all right. So looks like they just have some different hardware. Now from here, let's see. I have the Omega, and I'm not too sure when this one was done. So for y'all who have the Definitive Edition, here is a new firmware update for you guys. Hopefully this will fix some problems that you have. Now, what I'm going to do is let's just download all these items. That way we'll have it available. We'll just save it to the desktop. Here's one. We'll save the cheat library. We'll save the thumbnail pack. There we go. That way we have all that stuff ready to go. Now, here is the user manual. Before everything starts, what does this say? Let's see. Okay, first step, update the kernel. Doesn't really do anything. Basic operations, launch menu on the SD card. Okay. Let's see, maybe my mic on my computer. Let me see what. New. Okay. That's the same thing. Yeah, ain't doing much. All right. So let's just go here and let's just extract it. Okay. Pretty simple. Extract it to the desktop. Looks like this one's a bigger file. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of different games that have a lot of different cheats. So, you know what? Let's see if I can undo this one at the same time. Okay, we got two different things going. All right, they're going. Now I'm going to be using just a 32 gig SD card on this one. It's called a Kexen 32 gigs. They've worked fine. I've used them several times for different devices. From I think one of my other flash cards uses this. So I don't have any issues with flash cards on this one. But let's just test it live. Now, I might have to format it. So let's just see what I have to do. Now let's plug it in. Okay, that one's gone. Let's plug. Here we go. Okay. Let me just go to File Explorer. This PC right here. Okay. Let's format it. There we go. Okay. This has now been formatted. And closed now, thank you. So let's see. There we go. Close. I think they're all done now. Here we are. Yep, they're all done. Okay. So let's just open. Let's go to this PC. Here it is. All right, so here's a blank one. All right, so let's see what we have to do. Read before use. Normal circumstances. Okay, yada yada yada. Once console, this will boot. Yeah, obviously you don't want to turn anything off while you're doing this. So never turn anything off. That would just mess things up even more. Alright, so we need to keep the bin file in the root of the folder. You can update the kernel by pressing R and the power up for the console. Okay, so let's put that in the basic one. Here we go. So that one is there. This is the cheat folder. Let's add that in. Look how it takes this long just to do 9 megabytes. The heck. And we'll put the images there too. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we updated the kernel. All right. I don't see anything else that we might need to do. Yep, it's FAT32. I already confirmed that. Did the kernel, did that. We're going to do that now. Tells you some basic operations. Launch menu. And now these are pretty simple. So, all right. You know what we're going to do now? Now this is doing everything it needs to do. It's going to transfer it over. I'm going to throw some ROMs in, and then we're just going to have some fun with it on the Analog Pocket. So I'm going to let it do its thing now, and let's go over to the Pocket. All right, so we are back. Now, here's a Pocket, obviously. Now, here's the Easy Flash Omega that I have. Now, there's a very good benefits to the Easy Flash over something like the Everdrive. Now, let's just go over it real quick. So, now we'll do another video for the comparison. This one's going to primarily focus on the Easy Flash and how it works on the Analog Pocket. Let's just start it up. I already did the kernel update. It was very simple. You press R when it was going on. See? If you want to current firmware is this. Would you like to update? Yes. And that was it. You have to turn it off. Go back. Oh, great. So I've heard that issue with that firmware, which unfortunately I decided to update it. But either way, it's a very simple update. Now, for some reason, I've heard that problem before. So keep that in mind. If you're on an older firmware, maybe just keep it there. I don't think it'll be an issue. You just gotta press B. It's just kind of annoying. Let me see if I can see where it's at now. Let's see. Now, I heard this was only an analog issue, that firmware. I also could get rid of this too, I believe. Let's see. If you want to delete a file, press L start. So let's delete this file. L and then L start. There we go. I don't need it anymore. Okay. So I already put some games on here. Now I tried different emulators to see if they'll work beforehand. It's having some issues, but we'll talk about that now. So first, what I want to look at is going to be the Game Boy emulator. Now, one of the benefits about Easy Flash is its ability to already have these emulators built in. So I didn't have to add the emulators like I had to add on the Everdrive. So let's just start it up and let's see how it goes. There you go. Works pretty well. Just like the same Goomba emulator, but this is already built in. Now, let me see if this has any display. No, man. See, this is where it sucks. I wish it let you stretch out past its regular settings. Because, look, let me just show you how it looks if you stretch it out on the analog itself. So you go to Tools, sorry, not Tools, Settings, System, GBA, Video, and now display mode, size, and positions. So it's already set to a default width of max 1600. So really the only thing you can affect is the height. So you can tell this doesn't really look the best, but let's max it out. It's gotta go past the screen. Now, I believe you can change your positioning. That's just that. But as you can tell, it's really not ideal to play. It's pretty stretched out. Let's just put a link and I can test it as well. Oh, wait. There we go. Still looks very good. I guess stretching out is not the worst thing in the world. You won't get that full screen that you get when you have an Easy Flash Junior or one of the Everdrives GBA X5 through 7. So keep that in mind. If you want that full screen, you're gonna need something like that. Or for this, even for this game right here. So I already showed you the emulator. There's always that going to, you know, GB Studios and just putting it there yourself. I think I have that one right here, Link's Awakening. I see. Sometimes you get those issues too, which can get quite annoying. But let's try another one real quick. So this is a mod of classic Galaga game. So full screen right there. Keep that in mind. You won't get, it's kind of, you really need either to use GB Studios or get one of the GB flash cards if you want that full screen at the moment. Maybe down the line, analog will allow you to oversize past its resolution, its screen, but right now you can't. And I might have to set it back to the default too. Yeah, it looks like it was stretched out. Let's go back to Tools. Tools, no, sorry, not Tools. Settings, Systems, GBA, Video. Wait, you can reset the default. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now it's back to default. So GB worked perfectly fine. Now, let's test out Game Boy Color. It's showing up, little symbol here for Game Boy. You can check it out right there, see? So this is the Deluxe. Now I know this one has some audio issues. Let's see how it works. Seems to work very good. So I would definitely say the emulators for Game Boy and Game Boy Color are working very well. Now, that's going to give you a lot of games to play right there, just off the bat. Those two libraries are huge, and we're talking hundreds of games. So you'll have plenty of hours of gameplay for that. Now, let's see if it'll let you exit back to Easy Flash. And that's one of the cool things. So this will actually let you exit. Now, you couldn't do that on the Everdrive, and I'll show that when I do the comparison. You just had to pretty much restart it. It's not the worst thing in the world, but, you know, it's not as convenient. Now, I just want to, before I go to Game Boy Advance, let's just try some of the other ones. Now, Game Gear, haven't been able to figure out how to get it to work. I'm sure I've seen different ways online, like converting the ROMs into a GBA ROM. I've seen that as a method, but just for like simplicity's sake, I think I would rather have the emulator being able to put it on. But there might be something I got to figure out with that. But right off the bat, it doesn't work off the bat. So it's not like, at least with the Everdrive, you just drop the file in there and you just play it. This one does not work off the bat. Same thing with Neo Geo and Sega Master System. Now, NES, that seems to work. There you go. That works. There you go. So you have a large amount of games you can play between NES, GB, and GBC. So those parts work very well. Now, oh yeah, that's right, I can just go right here. So let's exit. Okay, now here is where we'll get into some of the settings. So first we can just start the game. Here is the Final Fantasy Tactics. Before it did show you the thumbnail, now it's not showing it anymore. So let's do a clean boot. And it runs perfect, pretty quick too. Now, all these flashcards, keep in mind, you cannot put them to sleep like you would an actual game, an actual like original cartridge or even a repo card or something like that. You press the button, sleep button, and it just puts it, sleep mode is not supported by this cartridge. Power off anyway. So pretty much it's a faster way to turn it off, but you cannot put it to sleep. The game seems to work just fine. And it does give you the options, I believe. Let's see. So you can still have all these options. Now, so you can see GBA games work just fine. Now this is where we want to get into some of the settings. Now there's already cheats already in there and all that kind of stuff too that I copied over. Okay. All right. So here's where you have some of the settings. Now you can have save states. These are the add-ons that you can add to a game. So it does make it very useful. Here's where you can set the sleep key, the menu keys, this stuff that helps wake it up. So LR up. Now I put it this just to keep it easy. Game RTC is open. Pretty simple right there, okay? So now what I want to do is just let's boot with add-ons. That way everyone can see how it looks. So now we're booting with add-ons. Now this is what's gonna take, it'll take a little bit longer when you boot with these add-ons, but it can definitely make it worth it, especially when it comes to these in-game menus. Everdrive doesn't have that. And that I could definitely see that being a big thing. You have save states, I believe that's pretty big. So let's try it out. I believe it was LR up. Okay, so that put it to sleep. So right now it's frozen. Doesn't do much. The screen is still on. I want to test that on actual original hardware. So let's wake it up. See, now I don't know how to wake it up. Figure it would just be the same buttons, but it is not. Let's try another button combination. Nope, nope, nope. Let's start, select. There you go. Start and select, woke back up again. So, and start and select, woke it back up. So now, let's try saving it. Let's see what the in-game menu does. Okay, here we go. Reset, save, and load. Here are your options. I'll hit save. Okay, so I saved it here. Let's do a new game. Okay, there you go. Now let's see what happens if I hit load. Okay, there you go. Takes you right back. So the save states work. Looks like it works. I don't see any issue with it. Now what we're gonna do is pretty much showed you, well, actually, no, let's just try to reset real quick. So that takes you back. That's pretty cool. So when you do that, it gives you all these different options that I think is very useful. Now, sometimes these can be very buggy. Just like the simple fact that it keeps saying that I need to update, which I don't, because right now I am on firmware 1.09. So it is buggy. And in this retrospect, I think people might prefer Everdrive. It's not as buggy, but there's a lot of features here that does make this very appealing to a lot of people. Now, I want to talk about one of the other features that this came with. Was one of the main things that I bought it, was it being able to fit flush with the Game Boy macro that I built. So here is the Game Boy macro. Okay, as a boxy pixel shell. There are many different ways that you can build this, so that's pretty much up to how you want to build it. I use the boxy pixel aluminum. I always like his products, it's very good. Now, whenever you put this in a pretty much essentially DSi, here's also a DS right here, DSi. Sorry, DS Lite. I'm sorry, DS Lite. So you make Game Boy macros out of DS Lites. You remove the top screen. And as you can see, it does stick out. Okay. Now, one of the benefits of Easy Flash items is, let me just show you. I am going to put the camera down a little bit. There we go. This comes with pretty much another shell that you can use. Make sure I got the right tools here. That's a tri-wing. Let me get it. Phillips. There we go. Here we go. Okay, so it's fairly simple. Just gotta unscrew this. There we go. Okay, this part should just come right off. This is unscrewed all the way. And then here is pretty much the Easy Flash. Now, they did give you, I have it here somewhere. Oh, did they go over there? No, it's right here. Give me 1 second. Let me just pick it up. They gave you an additional piece to put it in the DS Lite. So here it is. Okay, it's a smaller version. Let's just put it on. That's to get to. I just got screwed in now. There we go. Let me just screw it back. These little screws are the best. Okay, here we go. So that's it. It's much smaller. Still has the Easy Flash logo on it. Put it in. And look at it. It is flush. It is like the original one that comes with the DS Lite. The cover. It is, honestly, this is the best, one of the best. Just for this purpose, this is probably one of the best things, just to keep it flush. So, let's see if I can turn it on. Okay, so I do have some battery left. I'm just curious if I get that same issue. Yeah, that is totally just a analog issue, which was to start it up. Wow, look at that. Ain't that something? That is something. All right, so that's pretty much it. This is gonna run pretty much the same here. I guess one of the other benefits is that you can still use this on the analog pocket. That's not an issue. You just, there you go, pop it in, and that's it. It's works just the same. It's not gonna have any issues. It works literally. You just pop, start it off, and there you go. So that's pretty much how simple it works. It's nothing crazy. But this right here didn't happen with version 1.07. Only happened when I updated it. Ain't that something? So one other thing, like I just mentioned, this will work on many different devices, many different Game Boy devices. So this is cool when you have playing something on, like on the DS Lite, the Game Boy Macro, for example, is another one where you don't have any Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy capabilities. So being able to play those games on some of these older hardwares is pretty cool, especially since you can't do it by itself. I like how that is simply a Game Boy. Sorry, an Analog Pocket issue. Yeah, that's cool. The emulators work pretty well. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to compare the Easy Flash with the Everdrive.